Check. Okay. Is the audio working? Can you hear me? Can you hear the chase? Yeah. Yeah, I have my stuff unplugged because I was trying to do something in the other room. And now I have a big issue here. Shit. Check, check. Yeah, I don't know why there's no audio for the chase right now. I just don't have my normal setup going. Bad timing. No audio on chase. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
We mentioned it a moment ago.
Okay,
you're
that
starting
should
to
fix
get
it.
near LAX. So how long until you're going to have some difficulties following
Check.
this pursuit?
Hello, hello.
Well,
Better?
as long as he's
Good?
on the 105
Okay, let's go.
freeway, we're going to maintain the south side here, and we should be able to transition through Hawthorne with him here. We're coming up on Hawthorne Airport as he starts to pull over to the right.
This thing is very blurry.
If you're looking at it from our angle here, we're looking from south to north. He is
Why is it
traveling
doing this?
from east to west, and the Bravo airspace basically includes the area north of the 105 and west of the 110 freeway. That's where things get hairy, not only for us up here in Air 7,
Okay,
but also
there we go.
for that
We're good.
LAPD air support helicopter, which is why they have invited those ground units to re-engage
That
the
took some
pursuit.
time,
For
but we're
some
good.
time, they put it into tracking mode, and once he got close to LAX's airspace, they started the pursuit once again. It looks like he's making a southbound turn, exiting the 105 freeway, southbound on Crenshaw Boulevard, continuing this dangerous chase here through South LA with no intention of slowing down whatsoever. And again,
What's
the
up,
one thing we
Charles
really
and
are
Jenny and
unclear about
Clindy and
is how all of this
KBBQ and
started,
Skier
what
Kid and
precipitated
John
this
and
pursuit
Superwind
is still very much
and
a
Maine
question
and
mark, but there does
Kenny
appear
and
to be clear intent on his
Streetwalker.
part to get away and
Jeez,
clear
Dusty.
intent on LAPD's
What's
part
up?
to not let that happen. So now he's making a right turn. He's going to be heading westbound on 120th Street, away from Crenshaw Boulevard, heading back
Coco
towards
Creamer.
the west here, going through another red light here, not obeying stop signs, not obeying red lights. That has been the
Arab
pattern
Prince,
throughout
what's
this
up?
pursuit.
Well, Chris, Giovanna Lara is now stepping in for Colleen Sullivan. So this is special coverage of a police pursuit. I'm Philip Palmer along with Giovanna Lara, and we at this point still do not know what this Jeep is wanted for. But as you can see, Giovanna,
Sean, what's up?
A very close pursuit with ground officers and from the air as far as LAPD choppers. They're right behind this guy.
Yeah, and just joining Philip, as Philip mentioned, I have a question, Chris. We know for sure that this driver is alone in that vehicle, or is that still unclear as well?
We don't know. Very much unclear at this point whether there's anybody else inside that vehicle. We do not know whether he is armed or whether LAPD has any of that intelligence or whether they are operating in the blind. Again, we don't know how all this started. He's now making a left turn off of 120th.
Oh, let's do
southbound
the
now on
prediction.
Prairie Avenue through Hawthorne. That's going to take him away from LAX's airspace, gives us an opportunity to catch up with him. It also gives that air support helicopter the opportunity to maintain a visual. Now,
Okay, we
I am
only need
hearing,
another 9 minutes for the
Giovanna
15.
And Philip, that this is a stolen vehicle.
Gee,
so
I
a stolen vehicle now in
did
a
the
parking
hydrate,
lot
but I
here,
don't
heading
have
in through
a
liquor
bottle
store,
of
trying to
water
get
here.
back
I
the
need
other
to go
side
get
on
one.
Broadway. This vehicle does not belong to him, and he is driving it like he stole it. You can tell.
Well, now we've got a chance to show some video earlier. You can see how this vehicle
I remember
is
my lightning
maneuvering,
cable, but
take
I
a
didn't have
look
my
at the
audio
video
interface
here
set up. I had to
earlier.
quickly,
you can
like,
see the
scramble.
crazy
That-
moment.
how is that-
That
that looks
vehicle
so
looked like
funny.
that front wheel was just absolutely unstable. And it
El
almost
Homer,
appeared
welcome.
it
You
was
haven't
just
missed
getting
much.
onto the freeway. It looked at it as if he'd hit a spike
Yo,
strip, and the
Maine, thank
tire was
you.
about to just shred apart.
Oh, I appreciate it.
No idea
2
how
months.
all of a sudden the vehicle becomes
Shit.
so stable that he's able to maneuver through a parking lot and
I wish they
start
would stop
weaving
showing
through
replays. Is
traffic
there any
again.
other news station on
That
this?
those images you see on the right there was earlier.
cross traffic.
So we were able to get
Close
that
call.
video for you to show what we were talking about, because it did look like this vehicle was unstable. And now look at how he's able to turn and weave in and out of traffic. Chris, I've never seen something like
Yeah,
that.
okay, it's
to
on
go
Instagram.
from
Says I'm watching
that
him drive around.
instability to this driver being able to weave in and out of traffic again and just suddenly have a vehicle that's maneuverable again.
I'm totally with you, Philip. Never seen anything like that. I mean, that wheel almost looked like it was about to come off, and now the vehicle is behaving almost completely normal.
How did it just
As we look
stabilize
at it from
itself?
the driver's side here, we were paying attention to that front left wheel, now making another left turn here onto 133rd Street, coming towards us. We're going to get a better shot of the passenger side of the vehicle to see if there's any misbehavior by either of those wheels. But right now, that vehicle is traveling in a straight line directly towards us, and for the first time, we can peer through that driver's side
does see
window,
that,
that
yeah.
driver's
What's up, Bryn?
windshield, and it does appear there is a passenger
And Big Merle, how's it
inside
going?
of the vehicle. So to answer Giovanna's question,
Oh, Quinn
we
B,
now know
welcome.
of at least 2 people inside of the stolen vehicle, and getting a little bit of a closer shot here through that tinted window on the driver's side as he picks up some speed here. And I can't tell, honestly, whether it is a man or
Wobble
a woman, quite
flats.
frankly, but he is now, again, southbound on Prairie Avenue.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. And as you were talking, he ran a stop sign. You mentioned his speed is increasing. He's crossing the double yellow lines right now against
Whoa.
traffic. Look at this. So definitely driving dangerously. It is a Friday afternoon. Kids are leaving school
Greg,
right
hey.
around this time. People are trying to, make their plans for the weekend. This is the worst time for a pursuit.
Oh,
Oh, you're so right about that. And every time we've seen any encounter with any kind of traffic jam, he's really shown little hesitation to weave around traffic, go the wrong way, and at some points, even making contact with some of these innocent drivers on the road here. So now he's in a much more congested, more narrow area here on Cordary Avenue, off of Prairie, and you can see, I'm sorry, let me just lower this radio really quick here. Southbound on Cordary Avenue, and still continuing down this more industrial area here. So we've been through residential neighborhoods, we've been through more commercial
that's
areas.
dangerous.
We've been on the freeway, off the freeway, now coming out on a major at Rosecrans Avenue, now coming westbound on Rosecrans, slowing down a little
Yo,
bit.
thank
We'll
you
go
for
ahead and
following,
wind out to see how
WWE
far
fan.
back those LAPD units are. They are trying to catch up, but as you can tell, they have pulled back just a little bit. Whether they
What
were
neighborhood is
unable
this?
to
It's like
squeeze through
Hawthorne.
traffic there.
Look at
Look
it.
at this.
Traffic.
Going the wrong way
Whoa.
in between those cars here. Look at this. That was a wild move there.
he gonna
And
get
there
out
comes
right here?
LAPD right behind him as he slows down here. Not sure why. He might be even coming to a stop here at Foothill or Fonthill Avenue
Oh.
and Rosecrans. LAPD now out of their vehicle. Guns drawn, aimed squarely at the driver's side of that Jeep as he comes to a full stop here
He's
on
getting out.
Fonthill Avenue for no apparent reason. Not sure if the vehicle is giving up or if the suspect
giving up.
has just decided
Oh.
There's
to
a woman.
surrender.
It's a woman.
It looks like it might be a female
Whoa, that
driver
door
with
flew
a
out
passenger
open,
now
like,
stepping
really
out
strong.
of the vehicle. You can see them with their hands up. And
No
this
gas,
has come to
maybe?
a random and sudden stop as they appear to be willing.
She's
to
just like,
end this
what? What do you
finally
mean?
after
What-
some
what?
Dangerous driving and at times going the wrong way, including the very end there, swerving across the oncoming lanes of Rosecrans Avenue, now surrendering to these LAPD officers on Fonthill. A very sudden end here, and we don't know how much more that vehicle had left in it, but obviously it doesn't really matter at this point. Finally, fortunately, this has come to a peaceful resolution, it appears, as at least 2 people are getting out of that vehicle. They will eventually check the back seats and make sure.
Yeah, I
that
had
the
my
vehicle is
radio
empty.
up. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
it was
didn't
great
know.
to
What?
see
What?
that
You
they
guys
are
were behind me.
cooperating with
What?
authorities, and she stepped out of the car, almost seemingly like, what's wrong?
I can say
what's
that.
wrong?
Yeah, I can
She
say
did,
that
yeah.
her demeanor getting out of that vehicle could have gotten her in a lot of trouble. The way she was acting,
Well,
almost
very
as
peaceful
if,
ending.
Why are you following
they
me?
stopped
If
then,
I'm
I
reading
don't
body
know.
language, and that's
I
the kind
thought
of
the
thing
same
where it's
thing.
you should probably just do what they say in that moment. But yeah, you're right, Giovanna. At least all's over, and it does look as if they have gotten this over. But Chris, to your point, she just drove into oncoming traffic to stop on a side street.
Yeah, that made
and
no
then now they'll
sense.
clear the rest of the vehicle. The behavior of this
199.9
and the driver.
Sean, you just keep watching,
just
you'll get
so
there.
Odd,
Like if I
the
just
whole
stayed
thing.
Yeah.
live for another
It's just a prime
replay.
example
Yeah, we can
of,
do
hey,
a
you just
replay real
can
quick.
never really understand what is going through
Hold on. Come, let me go back. Why doesn't it let me go back?
somebody's head when they put on
Doesn't YouTube
this
usually let you
kind
go
of
back?
a display behind the wheel there. I mean, we saw so
Rewind
much
to live
unpredictability there,
video.
making very random turns, really speeding to try and get away from those pursuing officers with no
What's up,
intention of
Ness?
slowing
Yeah,
down. And then randomly coming to a
geez,
complete
you're
stop
so
right
close.
here on Font Hill Avenue.
You'll
as
get
they
there
take
just
these
from
two
like
into
watching the
custody.
next
That
stream.
Vehicle,
Maybe they'll
you know,
replay it.
we
Let me look at
understand
the
that
other
it's not their
station.
vehicle. It was a stolen
Other
car,
station we got a
but
different
again,
angle,
to
but
remind
it's
you,
same
we
thing.
saw that front wheel almost ready to come off, and somehow she was able
Oh,
to
they
recover,
went offline. Never
regain
mind.
full control, and continue
Here's the
maneuvering
replay
the
of
vehicle
this,
as if nothing was
where
wrong
they were suddenly
whatsoever. But
the wheel
for
was just
whatever
like
reason,
shaking.
she decided to pull over, and thankfully nobody has been hurt here.
Well, I got a text from someone who owns a Jeep, and they were explaining to me,
If you just pull up your
actually a
YouTube, good
coworker,
point.
that it's called a death wobble, and that some
A
Jeeps,
death wobble.
after they reach a certain speed, will start to wobble like that and lose control. And it's a repairable item that some people don't get fixed. It usually happens in the older Jeeps. That does appear as if it's a newer Jeep.
They did the research
Don't know
on
if that's
this.
what happened,
Right.
but they were explaining to me that in some cases that has happened in the past. So not sure that that's what it was, but certainly it could have been. So
But the ending
just
was
for
so
people
strange.
to-
Like she
to
was
know,
still just
maybe
like
that's what it
cutting
was.
through,
That's a
like
possible
driving
explanation.
as if
Frustrating about-
she was
frustrating thing
really in
about
a hurry
all
to
of
get
this
away
is that
from
they
the
put
police.
so many
And then all of a sudden
people,
she just
so many
stops.
commuters
Yeah.
in danger and at risk.
It's just like so
Again, I
random.
have to go
Like,
back
why
to
did you pick
being
then? Why
grateful
did you
that
pick
no
that
one was
moment? Why did you do
hurt,
that?
and that this ended peacefully.
Okay, well, that's going to do it for
Okay,
this
that's
coverage.
it.
We want to thank you. Thank you, Chris Christie. This chase is over. 2 people arrested, stolen.
Chase over. All right, everybody. Thank you. I will. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen. Did it break down? It kind of seemed like maybe they just like ran out of gas in that moment, but usually it's like, I don't know. So strange. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. If I go live again, it's because there's another police chase. So come back and watch Raid CM. Is he live? Or is he still doing his like half live, half? Is he still on BRB? I don't want to raid a BRB streamer. He BRB. All right. Then no.